Here we go. So we are quite heavy, so we don't get a lot of us. So we are kind of relying on not getting killed too often, which isn't going well, given the current circumstances. There we go, there goes another Cromwell. There was a... Hi everyone, Will here, and welcome back to Sprocket. I'm finally well enough to make videos again. After a small pocket of illness. That was fun. And I'm going to be announcing a bit of a large project, which... Thank you, microphone. Let me try that again. Hello, everyone. My name is Will, and welcome back to Sprocket. Today, I'm going to be announcing a little bit of a project. And when I say a little bit of a project, I mean an exceedingly large project. I have a bit of a history of modding Hearts of Iron 4, and I think it could be cool if I were to try my hardest to get a kind of history going, an alternate European history, and potentially extend wider than that, but for the most part, an alternate European history going, where I just design all the tanks for it and then put it into the game. So, if anyone is interested in something like that, leave some history in the comments below, and perhaps I can start making some work on getting that put into the game and get our first nation's borders set up for next episode. And we can start working on tanks for that nation, and in the meantime we can suggest another nation, and so on and so on and so on, and basically build up a world around tanks and other stuff, obviously. So if you got any ideas for that, try leave it in the comments. Let's see what we can do. Maybe we can make something cool, or maybe we'll make half of a thing that's cool. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day, I guess, how far we get, so long as we do something, because that would still be pretty cool in my books, even if we don't end up with a finished product, which I'm sure we will. Definitely don't have a third year of university coming up in like 7 days, which I'm going to have to devote most of my life to. That's going to be fun. Anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to be just having some fun with some tanks, and I think we're going to start with this bad boy, and I think we're going to make him bigger. So yeah, as you can probably tell if you've seen the old Romanian tank video, this is not the exact same as the vehicle that we built in the previous time we saw this tank. Basically, I went in my free time and I redesigned it to just be a little bit on the longer side, a little bit more of a medium tank, and I just had a bit of fun with that in my own time. And this is a modification of that modified version. So instead of being the Mark 14-2, it's the Mark 14-3. But that's just obviously something we can put beside us. Forgive me, Lord, I enjoy playing games sometimes while not recording, so there we go. But yeah, suspension on this thing was hard to get right, because it was just an awkward length where it didn't quite tick all the boxes, and then I finally found the one for me, in my opinion. And we do go back and put some fender covers on, some funky fender covers as well. I quite enjoy the funky fender covers on this tank though, and just everything generally about it is a little bit funky. I really like this new gun mantler they've added from the Czech Skoda 38T. But yeah, it's certainly a strange one. So actually filling the front of a turret with it can be difficult. So I actually put 2 coaxial machine guns on this one. So you know, kind of a weird layout. I thought it looked fine. One of them is much bigger than the other one. I was thinking like, oh look, there's a 50 cal and a 30 cal on the turret, so it kind of makes sense from that method. And you can see me here, I'm just moving scenario from the from interwar to early war, just because I felt like interwar was taking the mick a little bit with this thing. Yeah, I don't really know why I picked an interwar scenario to begin with, but we do fight the early war stuff rather than the interwar. Just giving it a camouflage as well. A bit of a weird one, actually. I don't really know what I was thinking, but it's alright. It's mostly just green, so it's not too offensive, to say the least. And yeah, here's the track covers going on, and really annoyingly, it didn't quite fit this last piece, so kind of had to make do with this medium-sized square, which didn't really fill the gap either. It left some holes in between it, and I was like, well, I guess the holes aren't too bad, but oh yeah, I could totally fill that in with something behind. I spent like 5 years trying to place a panel just slightly behind it that would still fit, you know, in front of the tracks, but behind the top fender, but it just didn't work. And so what I end up doing is I use these applique panels, which they've recently added, and the ability to place on fender pieces, just to cover that little gap in the wall of the tank's fenders. Yeah, okay, sure, we'll go with that. That was a little bit of a complex way of saying that. Tried to add a turret ring as well, but it didn't really go with the tank, is something I found. But yeah, this is pretty much the finished product now, just tweaking a few things. I really should have tweaked engine RPMs, as we discover later, but I neglected to do so. So, yeah. Okay, so we've got something going on here. It's a little bit of, well, basically just a larger version. And I wanted to play around with some of the new fixtures we haven't really been able to play around with since I last played. So you've got placement on these, you know, fender pieces here, which I've used to cover up this annoying gap that was in the middle here. It's kind of visible from up close that you can see what I've done. This is definitely a little bit unsightly. This piece here, just there was nothing to quite fit in the gap. But from a distance, it doesn't really, you can't see what's going on there. And I'm really happy with how the general track assembly looks. As for an evolution of the tank, it doesn't feel so much like an evolution of the tank, more of just like a different role tank almost. This has 5 crew as opposed to 4. It's got a slightly larger cannon, but similar armor. It feels more like a command tank almost. It's quite a lot heavier. We've got a 27-ton vehicle here as opposed to the original from the video being this 22-ton light, almost not quite light, but really short tank. The one I showed you, this is something I made in my free time, is just a slightly extended version of that. And now we've got this, which is a much bigger kind of design. And I feel it looks a little bit more natural, almost. It looks more like a tank you would kind of expect to see on the battlefield. It's not as small and compact as the other ones, but perhaps I'll come back at this point and I'll turn this into a proper scout kind of light tank machine. Obviously, mantlets have been changed. That's why those tanks aren't working at the moment. So we do need to go back and actually have some time fixing those. But I'll do quite a lot of those in my spare time. Anyway, the other new thing I've used is this new gun mantlet. So this is based on the Skoda 28T. Basically, this is a spring to keep the gun up, as far as I'm aware, which I could have used in my Japanese tank had I waited another day or two. And then this here is a very, very long 88 or 85 millimeter gun. Bit of an unconventional caliber, but it looked about right in the tank. And who said you couldn't make an 85 millimeter gun? So we're going to give it a go. Only get 3 of them here, but we have a fair whack of armor and 110 millimeters of penetration, which is more than enough for this scenario. So another thing that's been added is turret acceleration. So you can see initially the turret is slow, and then it gets up to speed after a while. That's bad. I probably shouldn't have been showing off my tanks so much. I should have been paying attention to the fact that there's enemies everywhere, and wow, they have nasty guns. They've just gone straight through the front of this thing. Here we go. So we are quite heavy, so we don't get a lot of us. So we are kind of relying on not getting killed too often, which isn't going well given the current circumstances. There we go. There goes another Cromwell. There was a fourth one over there, but there doesn't seem to be a huge amount other than that. Ooh, that's gone through there. Is that a man of war actually, or is it a? Might be a Crom Tilda. Doesn't look like a Cromwell LT, that's for sure. It was a man of war, but we've gone straight through the front, so that's nice of it. Oh, really worried we were going to get wiped out there, but that seems a fairly even playing field, actually. In another world, perhaps they would have killed this last tank, but today we've won out, and I will happily take that. So let's try Silent Border as well, and see how we do there. Okay, so we know how important mobility is to this mission, and this tank's mobility is not great. It's not spectacular by any sense of the imagination, and that is, hang on, I think it might be gearing related, you know. I think it's gearing related. Okay, let's just give that a fix, and I'll be right back. Well, I'll be frank. My engine RPMs were disgracefully poor. So hopefully now it should know to be in gear 4 up this hill. There we go. We got it. We got it. Perhaps this final drive shouldn't be set to such high speed. It does seem to be focusing on high speed over acceleration a little too much. I think there's an AT gun there. There we go. Yep. There'll be another one on the right here. Wonder if that AI will get that. Oh, hang on. They did not, but they've shot over there. We can use that as a marker. Perhaps... Oh, yeah, no, I think I see it. I think I see it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's gone. And now which building is the AT gun behind? Look at that turret acceleration. That gets up to some speed. It does. Oh, there it is. It's killed my friend, which is unfortunate, to say the least. We are going to struggle to get the last tank through. The hope is that actually that this gun is big enough that it won't need allies to take out the Allen. Of all of my tanks, I think this might be the one with the most firepower in this era. I don't know if there's any changes that have happened or if it is just the biggest, because it's not a small tank, let's put it that way. So if we can get the remaining allies I have to follow me, see if they can actually join us, because, well, the closer they can get to me, the better, considering if I do die to the Allen, I'm going to have to drive them all the way back myself, so it's certainly going to be interesting. The front of the Allen's turret, never been able to penetrate it before. I don't know how thick it is, frankly. I don't know if it's less than 111 millimeters, which is, you know, that's quite a thick plate. I wouldn't put it past it to only be about 100 millimeters, but you never know with this bloody thing. You never know. We'll give it a go, though, for science, I guess. Yeah. Well, that's gone about as expected. Right. Plan A. Oh, no, never mind. No, yeah, we can. Yeah, we can go. We can go through the front of the Allen. I suppose it's only fair that we actually have this tank suffer a defeat. So here's the Tiger 2, and I've changed nothing. So yeah, this isn't going to go well, I'd imagine. He can go through us pretty much anywhere, and I imagine he will. And I don't think we can go through his front, because this gun will have got some upgrades from the era switch. but not that many, I'd imagine. So yeah, there goes one of our tanks, and I guess we'll... yeah, we don't have much gun depression. That is certainly a problem with this tank, is the old lacking gun depression. Yes, I am a heavy tank tiger, but I am a heavy tank of an era gone by, so if you could just be nice, that would be useful. He is not nice. That is something I have determined here. I guess we don't have much of a choice. Yeah. No. I don't think that's going to happen. How much pen do we even have now? 139. No, that's not really enough, is it? And that doesn't go up a lot with the cannon's length. We'd probably need a bigger propellant charge. Or more tanks. But I don't think that's happening. So yeah. Realistically, I didn't think this tank was going to be able to do this. Thought I'd give it a go, just for a bit of fun, and because the video was a bit short. But I'm not going to make any more modifications to it, because it's already done what I want, and I feel like beating this mission with it would require ridiculous applique panels, which might be fun, but it doesn't really fit the theme of the tank. And I've just noticed these road wheels, they need to... Oh no. Oh no, have you noticed this the whole time? Why? Oh no. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's fine. No one noticed, I'm absolutely certain of it. So, we'll just ignore that ever happened, actually, and pretend blissfully that the whole time my suspension wasn't really clipping through my own tank. Because it absolutely wasn't, and I have no idea what you mean. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Please leave a like, favourite, and or subscribe. I'm still feeling a little bit ill right now, but well enough to make a video, so I'm going to go lay down and feel sorry for myself. Please leave some ideas for lore in the comments below, and perhaps in the next video we can get a map made and start designing tanks for nations on the map. Yeah, we'll probably just start with 1 or 2 and see where we can go from there. So, yeah, let me know, and I'll see you in the future.